Podcast, WATP.
It was the triumphant return of Anthony and Jim Norton to the New York City airwaves on ABC. And Monday morning, I go to Opie's channel. I'm like, you know Opie's going to address this. The two former co-hosts, E-Rock was there too, just did a show together, reminiscing about the old days on Opie and Anthony, and the conversation ranged quite a bit. It's very interesting for Opie and Anthony fans, but even listeners to AM talk and political talk radio. And so I thought, what's Opie going to say about this? So I look at his stream. The stream is entitled Rory's Triumph, Slimy Carrots, and Dog Crap Burgers. Way to get the people what they want, Opie. This is why you're killing it right now. How many people went to go see, like, if Opie would react, respond to this or something, and just nothing. Go figure. So Anthony put out a video on the flight back home from New York. He's in first class, and there is a crying baby. And so he puts out a video showing where it's like, hey, look at me, I'm sitting in first class, and this is annoying AF for everyone to enjoy. And Opie jumped on this. He couldn't wait to make a little video making fun of Anthony for it.
Well, an obvious downside to dating young.
So that's the video that Opie put out, where you see Anthony making the faces about the crying baby. Opie does the downside to dating young, and then kissy faces for some reason. Do you understand the kissy face thing, Cardiff?
Yeah, you do that with a baby, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
See, Opie won this when this was just a tweet.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is that here's the tweet where Anthony tweeted this video out, and Opie quote retweeted it and said, one of the downsides of dating young. And everyone was just like, great tweet, Opie. And you even read the comments and like, got him.
The
Nice.
destroyer's back.
Right.
That was his drop the mic moment.
Yep. And he had
drop the mic.
Fucking video with the exact same joke. The exact same joke. He had made a video of it too.
Hopester.
What's he doing? Why
Oh,
do you feel compelled to do that? And then Kevin Brennan watched Opie's video. And let's get Kevin Brennan's hot take on it. Because if I know one thing about Kevin, he excels at reaction videos. Mm-hmm. He's really good at it.
Well, an obvious downside to dating young.
Cumia looks old and ugly at this angle.
Genius.
Kevin is the worst at this. It's like, do you want to talk about what Opie just said and what this means for the relationship and going forward and the back and forth they've been having, especially the last couple of months?
What kind of plane is this?
Delta. I like Delta. I'm a frequent flyer. What the fuck? He's terrible. So this is Anthony's response. Anthony went on his show and responded to the Opester's hilarious joke.
And so I posted that on X, and then Opie commented on it and said, well, that's what happens when you date younger girls, something to that. You know, maybe you should date older girls, whatever it was. But it's a good joke. It's funny. I'll give him that. It's relevant, kind of funny. So it's fitting, you know. Jimmy was making those same jokes Sunday night on the show. And, you know, I'm not against a little self-deprecating or someone else deprecating humor. But I was very surprised. I'm like, hey, that's not bad. That ain't too shabby. Good one. One thumb up for the Opester.
Finally got one of the Opie column.
Literally showing you, and we talk about this all the time, the guys who hate that we talk about them, we're literally giving them advice all the time. Anthony is demonstrating how to handle something like this. Opie makes a joke, and, it's a ridiculous joke because a baby would be a little younger than what Anthony's into.
Anthony was nice enough to demonstrate how to do a walking around Manhattan video.
Oh, that was hilarious. But so Anthony was great because he actually had real facts and new stuff. That
absolutely.
wasn't informative with it. But
he was in front of the camera. Amazing.
That's very funny. And and Opie wouldn't come on and just go, that was pretty good. I do the same kind of thing. And the way Anthony did, he wasn't doing an impression of Opie. He was just doing his version of what that would look like. But Opie would never give credit. Anthony's showing right now, like, look at how easy this is to just absorb a thing that is a joke that other people have found humor in. Like that video that Anthony put out, it's got tens of thousands of views on it. It's hilarious because it's not really real content. It's just making fun of what Opie does. And so here's how you handle this sort of thing. Opie will never learn. He'll never understand this. Or maybe he will. Maybe Cardiff will help him out.
Yeah.
Cardiff could be the
Help
savior.
me help you, Opie.
Yes. So, as we know, Opie has gotten a lot of criticism for the way he runs his show. Doesn't seem to have any kind of format. And it was interesting. We played a clip from the old Opie and Anthony show where he predicted that Anthony would someday be a political talk show host. And he goes, and I'll go back to spinning records. And we went, well, one of those things came true. Well, Opie decided on the recent live stream here to hey, I'm going to show off. I'm pretty good at spinning records. I'm going to go back to that. That's how he starts his show.
Boom, boom, boom. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. We're going to get things going with a little song from the Opie and Anthony show, starting out a little differently today. Remember the band Train? Well, they came in and they performed Ramble On by Led Zeppelin, and I think this is a perfect way to start today's live stream. Check it out. All right? All right.
Leaves are falling all around.
So he literally just lets this video play while you're still looking at Opie watching it over to the side. So he's trying out this new format. He's like, oh, spin some tracks throughout the morning show. Get people excited about that. Every morning DJ loves to be told they have to play music during the show. You guys are talking too much. We got to get at least 3 or 4 songs in every hour. So Opie's fulfilling that wish from this mystery PD, which is good. And then later on in the show.
But Carl, why, if you have the entire library of every recorded piece of music ever, is it just a clip from the Opie and Anthony show? If he wants to play music, play anything. Why play something you were already...
I'm just glad it wasn't mustard.
Cardiff, it's just a coincidence.
I'm just glad I'm sure it'll happen. But this is somebody sent this to him. He found it or something. I'm just glad he's not playing mustard singing I'm a creep. Oh God.
Doesn't Howard Stern have a famous relationship with the lead singer of Train? He's one of his guys. He's always on there. I thought Opie was a tastemaker. Why isn't he allowed to listen to or reference anything past the 90s?
That's a good point.
Why can't he find a new band at Get Parts?
Well, I'm glad you said that because there's a super chatter who brings up another band that's even better than Train that he should be checking out.
Detroit Dabbler. The Isotopes are better than Train. Check them out. All right, I don't know who the Isotopes are. Detroit Dabbler. Do I know who they are? Are you? Is this a troll? I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. But thanks for the $1.99. Okay. All right.
I thought I was going to end that with you're blocked anyways.
You saw his instincts kick in there. It's just like the Isotopes. Oh, wait a second. Is this one of those things that I should know, but I don't know? And people are going to laugh at me.
I think he's like this with everything in his life.
Yeah.
I think he orders food and they call back to double check the order. And he's like, hold on.
Yeah.
Where are you from? Do you know what a dabbler is? I think.
Right.
Yeah, this is a lifestyle for him. Mm-hmm.
He's paranoid. Thank you, Detroit Dabbler. Appreciate the Isotopes mentioned on there. But you brought up blocking. Mm-hmm. There is so much blocking on this episode. This is just one live stream, and he can't help himself.
I got blocked, LOL. Oh, and you're this guy too? Yeah, let me block this account too. Goodbye. There's a guy. He just trolls. He just he watches everybody that's attempting to do something with their live streams. Believe it or not, I'm attempting to do something with my live streams. And then this loser then finds the 1 minute, the 30 seconds that sucks and clips it. And that's his whole YouTube channel. So he made the mistake. I blocked him. And then he made the mistake to pop back in with his alt account. So I blocked that too.
Yeah, you're winning.
Yeah.
You got him.
That was your fatal mistake, buddy.
Yeah. I believe he's talking about Stalin 19. Who else could he be talking about? I guess I don't know all the clip shows, but.
John says the same thing. He says, they just pick the 1.5 minutes of dead time during my 3-hour stream, and they use that as an example of what I'm doing. They know that's not true, right?
I don't know if they do, because Opie says this over and over again. It's like anyone could Jocktober anything. Anyone could find one embarrassing moment and make fun of it. But Opie's being disingenuous there if he does believe that, because the way Jocktober worked, and we've kind of kept the same formula, is that Sam Roberts would listen to the most recent episode of the radio show and then go, yeah, so yesterday, this is what their morning show was. And then the fugitive would show up and then I'll lose their fucking minds. Like, holy shit. But that was the fun part about it. It's not like he was sifting through every episode to find that one part. He'd pull one episode and pull a bunch of clips from it. I'm like, that's what I'm doing right now with Opie. This is his most recent live stream.
Can you imagine if it was that focused on the real shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he was doing the Anthony wrap-up show every Monday morning, I think everyone that tunes into WABC would want to see it. I think Cumia would start talking about it and responding to it, and he would be relevant and involved in this thing.
And he knows he can't do it. And that's the funny part is he says he'd be the best at it, and he knows he can't do it, which is why he doesn't. And that's why he has to go on and block people like Unique, who shows up in his chat quite a bit.
Anyway, Kyle, I will, you know what? Let's just get rid of him. Let's just block user. Goodbye, Kyle. I don't need you. Yeah, I'm not purposely, I'm not doing the O&A stuff that much. If you're here to do O&A stuff, you're going to be very, very disappointed. Okay.
Yeah, really?
That is disappointing.
I was hoping we'd see some O&A train performances, and you satisfied me.
He did. Yeah, he did open with Opie and Anthony right there, and then goes, what are we talking about, Opie and Anthony? Yeah, you started it, honestly. So this is always a good sign. Someone's on the right track when they're blocking everyone who's in the chat.
Yeah.
And it continues on later on in the show.
Holy crap, you're clueless about politics. Okay. You're the guy that, let's just get rid of you. No, I'm not clueless about politics. See, you're clueless about politics, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this guy right here before I block him. I'll tell you why you're clueless.
You think I'm bad at arguing? I think you're bad at arguing.
It's a block party weekend.
For real.
2 for Tuesday.
If you don't agree with somebody's political take, the one thing you say is they're clueless about politics. That's what makes America great for real.
Okay.
What makes America great for real is the pushback. It's the pushback. And whether your side is in charge or not in charge, what makes America great and what makes American politics great is the pushback.
He got this from Brother Weeze.
Mm-hmm.
He has no idea what he's talking about. So the word politics doesn't mean either liberal or conservative. When someone says you're clueless about politics, they mean you don't understand the issues, you don't know the players, you couldn't understand why some people would want this and other people would want that, and you can't articulate any of those things. That's what being clueless about politics is. But Opie is clueless about politics, so he just goes, oh, because you like Trump? Oh, you think I'm clueless because you like Trump and everything Trump does?
No, it's because we've heard the words that come out of your mouth.
Yes, it's because we know you're clueless about politics. And every time you try to discuss the subject matter, you prove that.
He was just blocking the previous people that said things he didn't like. He said he's going to block this person as soon as the chat came up. And then he summed it all up by saying he loves this pushback and it's what makes America great.
Okay.
And that's not true. The pushback is what makes Doggy Style great.
See what you did there?
Mm-hmm. Good point.
The Rob Sell segment was earlier in the show.
I didn't mean that.
I know. I understand what Tom is.
And while we're speaking about Rob Sell, Opie, I put together an entire...
Normal women is what I meant.
Yeah.
I put an entire package together of Rob Saul responding to us from earlier in the week that became irrelevant because he started talking about us last night. So we just scrapped that and went with this. Didn't think twice about it. Can you imagine doing that kind of preparation? You wouldn't have to answer all these offensive to you questions.
You might notice I've not blocked anyone during the show. I'm sure there's asshats like VTL sock accounts that are in the chat or were in the chat. But because I have a show prepped and because I'm not paying attention to the chat, I don't know that it's happening and it's not bothering the show or fucking with the flow in any way. And let me say this last thing about Opie's understanding of what politics is and clueless about politics is the same as Stuttering John, where John is clueless about politics. He doesn't know anything that's going on. He only regurgitates what he hears the people he agrees with or thinks he agrees with say. And so he would think the same way, like, oh, you think I'm clueless? Oh, you must be a Trump supporter. Mm-hmm. Like, no, even the things I agree with you on, I don't think you understand why they're good or why you like them.
Yeah, I want to take my political advice from someone who doesn't think gerrymandering is a person.
Can we book this gerrymandering, please?
He's up to no good.
Speaking of politics, I should say, I will be on the Blaze Network. I'm going to go on Normal World with Dave Landau on the May 27th, Tuesday after Memorial Day. And then on May 28th, I'll be on Prime Time with Alex Stein. So I'm very excited about that, traveling to Dallas to see those folks and check out Glenn Beck's facilities down there.
Nice.
In Texas. Should be a lot of fun.
See the All in the Family chair.
Oh, that's right. He's got a crazy collection.
He's got a whole insane collection. You got to check that out.
I will definitely check that out. All right. This is a fun one because Greg just gets distracted by the chat and then he realizes he shouldn't be engaging with them.
Dude guy. Good morning, dude guy. Good morning, John. 3,000 a show, Greg. You suck. I have no idea what that means, John. Yeah. What are you trying to say, John? John, it doesn't matter what you're trying to say.
Oh, you see how he figured it out?
Yep.
What do you even mean by that? I don't care.
Yeah, well, I don't care. Yeah. It's an amazing process.
I suck. What are you trying to say?
Also, now that Anthony is syndicated in over 20 markets, it's, I think, much more than 3,000 a show, but still very funny point. It doesn't seem like Opie does a lot of stuff. The fact that his wife sends him out for envelopes.
I forgot about that.
Needs envelopes. What do you need them for?
She doesn't need them.
She doesn't. She's like, hey, can you go to the store and get envelopes? She's trying to find something that'd be hard to find.
Yeah. Left-handed monkey wrench.
Yeah, maybe have to go to a couple different places.
Do you think they've kept Amazon hidden from him all these years? So he thinks anything they need, he has to go out and get and find.
It's like how you lock down porn sites for the kids. They have to lock down Amazon and eBay.
There's a reason they didn't let him into Costco with them.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agreed back then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm starting to come around on this theory. All right, it's making some sense. But we always wonder, like, what does Opie do? Because he does these streams in the morning. He does get cards like on Tuesdays and sometimes Wednesdays. Walks around the streets a little bit. So now we're going to find out what a crazy week is for the Opster.
I can't wait. I got a busy week too. I gotta fly in a couple days. I'm going to my nephew's wedding. You know, he's getting married the day before Easter. So this week is very, very hectic. I got kids that are still into the Easter thing. So we're running around trying to get Easter ready. Then we fly to do a wedding. And then I'm on a red eye. I'm on a red eye Sunday morning, first thing, so I could, celebrate Easter with the family. So it's good. It's a crazy week to say the least.
That was two things you mentioned. Two things.
Yeah,
one of them
that haven't happened yet.
Yep. One of them you said many times. It's still just a flight. I would call my grandmother in Queens who lived alone in her 80s and ask her how her week was. And it was the same response. It was like, well, there's this one thing coming up and that's kind of taking up all of my time because I'm 80 and retired. Opie, having a flight in a couple days is not a busy week.
I flew back home yesterday. I haven't brought it up yet.
It's for a bonus show.
Yeah. Pretty exciting stuff. The fact that he's got Easter on Sunday and a wedding to go to.
And he has to take a red eye.
This week is, well, I don't think he understands what red eye means. Because he said
first thing Sunday morning.
First thing Sunday morning. That's not what a red eye is.
No.
A red eye is overnight. But he's got to get up early and then but he gets up early every day. So what's the difference? He's going to be at the airport before they open. So it'll be outside knocking on the door. How does the airport open?
And the red eye is actually a desirable flight in New York City because it's late at night and you don't have to deal with the traffic and it's just a little easier.
But that's not what he's doing. He's going to get up Sunday morning first thing.
Because they care about Easter?
Because Easter is so important.
To his adult children?
Yeah, this is such a busy week. Well, he doesn't have adult children. They're still in school. And he does talk about that a little bit, why this is important. But trying to get Easter ready, I think I saw Melton pull this clip, and I also have to jump on him for this one.
But that's it. We're in it, as I like to say, we're in it to win it. We're trying to get Easter ready, and then it's a wedding. I had 2 weddings this year. You know, when you get older, you kind of age out of going to weddings in general. You get a nice gap. Remember when you were going to a wedding every weekend? Your whole summer was one wedding after another, and then you get like a reprise, let's call it, for like a good 10, 15 years. There have been no weddings, and now
I like that he goes, a reprise. Like, that's not the word.
That's French.
a reprise, let's call it. Why don't we just call it the actual word?
A Febreze.
Let's air it out with a Febreze for a moment.
What a maroon.
Yeah, it's not great.
He doesn't need the red eye. He needs the black mouth.
This is, again, the Opester is looking for content. So he's trying to stretch out this. Guys, remember when we used to go to weddings every weekend and now I got to fly. I got to travel to an airport, go through security, and then get on an airplane. Like, yeah. Oh, we know. We all do all of these things all of the time. And it's amazing that we're all pulling it off without bitching about it on our shows.
Think of the content we're going to get.
Well, the bitching continues on later on in the show.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's get married Easter weekend. That shouldn't inconvenience anyone. Well, it's it's a bit problematic. I'm not going to lie to you, because it's one of these weddings where you got to fly to, because everyone was from up here, and now my nephew lives down there, so now we all got to fly there. And there's a lot of people that aren't going to make the wedding because it is Easter, because everybody has kids. It's tough. We decided, because it was a tough decision, but we decided that I would go down and represent. My wife would stay here, make sure Easter's good. I'm gonna roll in Easter morning, tired as all hell because the wedding is Saturday.
I'm glad, Adam, you picked up on that. It started with I don't know how we're going to be able to juggle all of this. We got a wedding. We got Easter coming up on Sunday. And then you find out the wife's got it.
Mm-hmm.
The wife's going to take care of Easter.
She told me to pick up some stamps on the way home.
She's got to buy a Cadbury egg and some Peeps and put it in a basket. Color a hard-boiled egg.
Nothing more stressful than flying by yourself.
I know. Like, all of this sounds perfect. Mm-hmm. You get to go to the wedding by yourself and hang out with your family. She's home taking care of the Easter and the kids and getting that all prepped. Like, what are we complaining about?
The only thing that seems to be consistent is they do not want to spend any time with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you know what would be great is if you went to that wedding and left a couple days early. Because when's the last time you were in Florida?
Are you sure?
Yeah. But he catches himself here because he realizes that it sounds like he's bitching about a wedding he's about to go to on the internet, which could be frowned upon.
And the only reason he even caught that it was, being negative is because the chatter started to mimic his kind of put upon sentiment. Hey, now you calm down. Let's be nice about this. It's my nephew. Okay, we didn't need to know it was your nephew. You hadn't mentioned that before. Now you're letting us know that. Great.
But Adam, don't you think there's going to be at least a person at this wedding who watches this and sees that he's bitching up a storm about it?
Not one.
Oh, okay. I would think a family member might, but maybe not. No. So this is where he checks himself.
And then the other problem with this, Vincent, by the way, that makes it very problematic. It's a wedding that's the day before Easter. I'm not bitching, by the way. This is what people do all the time. I got married really close to Thanksgiving. I don't have a leg to stand on.
Oh, well, there you go, Opie.
I wish his nephew would chat. Go fuck yourself, Uncle Opie.
Yeah. Hey, Uncle Greg, don't bother coming.
Yeah, you're off the hook.
Yeah, fuck off. Is Easter that big? I don't know. Maybe it is. He was talking. I don't think I pulled the clip. He's talking about how the kids are getting older. This is going to be the last holiday where the kids care about the holiday.
How can you gauge that?
Exactly.
And he's not going to be there for the holiday, right? He's going to be away at this wedding.
He'll be back in time. He's taking that early morning red eye.
Oh, okay.
To be back for the Easter festivities. So you saw him block Unique, Kyle, when he was asking questions about Anthony or Opie and Anthony or something. He said, we're not talking about that. So the question I always ask is, okay, then what are we talking about? And here's the answer.
Richie Rich, who the man, 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 who the man. Man, who the man today? Is it Kate Beckerts, or however you say her name? She was the first pick in the WNBA draft. She's going to your Dallas Wings. I didn't even know the name of the team was the Dallas Wings, but Paige, I should say. Paige Beckerts. She was the number one pick in the WNBA. Is she the man today? Is she the man?
Why do you talk that way?
It's a perfect drop because we'll get back to who the man and what that even means. But listen, check out this. And this is just a free chat that Opie puts up on the screen.
Hey, dude, can you do your funny voices? You're very talented. All right, thank you. Are you trying to make fun of me because I get silly with my voices? Really? Is that supposed to be a sick burn?
It's not a sick burn. The guy wrote it in the chat and you put it up on the screen. So he's doing the who the man thing. And I love anytime any guy, and I'm guilty of this too. So don't go back and look through the archives, Cardiff. Anytime any guy talks about the WNBA, they have to say, but I don't know that. So she got drafted by the Dallas Wings. I don't even know. Dallas, what is that, a city? I don't even know.
Dicks in my butt.
But you notice that? That's always a disclaimer. As soon as you start talking about the WNBA, I mean, it was on ESPN. I don't care. I wasn't even paying attention. I've never watched a game, but apparently there's Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry. I know too much. I apologize.
They'll do it with everything. They do it with every clip they've seen. They always say the exact title of what it is they're talking about and then say, or whatever. I don't even know.
Right. The who the man thing, I'm confused by what that means. Because then he's like talking about the first round draft pick for the WNBA. So then we find out what who the man is.
So is El Salvador the man? Is Trump the man? Is that prisoner sitting in that horrific prison the man? No.
So who the man is just what's a big news story today?
Pretty
it seems.
Much. Yeah, that's just it. He's done this before. He's good at it. He's a professional.
Why is that called who the man? Is it El Salvador the man? No.
Because you want to shout out the man on your show.
Isn't this a Brother Weeze topics? Does this come from Brother Weeze?
Oh, I don't think so, but I could be. If you want to get into topics, then like what are the most important issues today? What are we talking
Who the
about?
topics?
Who the topics? Right. Who are these topics?
Who
right.
keeps you up at night, Opie?
What keeps you up at night?
I'm thinking giving it to Wendy's. Is Wendy's the man?
No.
Is Starbucks the man? Because profits are down. I told you, Starbucks, you idiots. You let the quality of your coffee go. You focused on sugary drinks. You focused on basically having a supermarket when real coffee drinkers want to get their coffee pronto. No real coffee lover wants to sit in a line to get coffee. I tried to tell Starbucks this a million years ago. They didn't want to listen.
He tried to tell Starbucks.
Hello, Starbucks.
Yeah. Why is no one listening to me?
It's like Stuttering John talking to YouTube.
Right. My favorite part about that, he goes, I tried to tell Starbucks this a million years ago. Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean back when they were a growing company that was just way more successful every year that went on? You were telling them they were doing it wrong?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they didn't listen to you, Opie. And they seem to do very well without your advice.
And is this Mondays? Sorry.
I think this is yesterday's.
I
was just kind of thinking it was a who the man Monday.
No. Monday he was talking about dog poop sandwiches.
It's just like a Stuttering John thing where somebody says something and they have to make this sound in response. And I thought that was always just like wet brain simpleton stuff. But it turns out it's just I don't have a show to do response where somebody says something, you make that sound, and now we've killed 15 seconds.
Yep.
My question is, why is he so why does he give himself the ability to, he allows himself to criticize Starbucks and explain to them how their business model works. But if we make any comment about like broadcasting in front of an open window, we're assholes that need to be blocked and we're haters. You're allowed to explain to this coffee company how to do it. I have an open window right there. It shows a beautiful, beautiful ocean with Hawaii, but that's not why people are tuning in. There's a whole show that Carl has worked on that I'm hoping will be more interesting than a palm tree, Opie. And why is your mouth black? Have you mentioned that at all?
What is going on with the mouth? Because
too early.
Yeah, you could tell that's bothering him as he's watching this. He won't stop drinking red wine out of his coffee mug, but it is bothering him.
Is it red wine? Is that what it is? It's the only explanation.
A lot of people are speculating that that's what's going on. I don't know.
Well, if it's not that, it's a serious bacterial infection and he needs to see a doctor.
Yes, there is a problem there for sure. But these noises that he makes during the show that you were pointing out there, Adam, I have a clip that I think might need to go on the board, producer Chris.
That would be annoying. That would absolutely be annoying.
Good stuff. Let's talk about Katy Perry. Katy Perry was just in space. This is big news. And Opie can't stop himself from singing, of course.
Baby, you're a firework. Oh, my God. Did she sing Firework?
Are you guys ready for an attempt at comedy from the Opester? I always like when he tries to be funny. So one of the recurring themes on this episode is he's talking about how they were in space for such little time. They go up there in space and they're right back out of space again. And so he's talking about Katy Perry's boobs. They used to be up here. Mm-hmm. Now they're a little bit more down here, but not in outer space.
When she was floating around for that, 5 seconds, she was staring at her boobs. Going, oh my God, they used to look like this all the time. Hey Gail, they used to look. And Gail's like, why am I up here with this dummy? Why couldn't Oprah go? Why is Oprah scared?
I didn't see. Did you guys already see that clip or something? I didn't see you guys laughing hysterically. Cardiff, you probably already saw that.
Yeah, I was watching live.
All the clip shows pulled that.
Yeah. Big, drinking from his Zen mug. He's upset about Katy Perry's boobs.
Pretty good
You
stuff.
say anything about Opie's eyes and you get blocked, but he can say whatever he wants about anybody.
Yeah, there's been some funny AI art that I've seen come out of Opie doing his live stream. His eyes are just closed. He's commented on himself, actually. So I have one more clip on here for Opie, and I think this really explains why Opie has the worst show of anyone who came from Opie and Anthony. Go down the list. Everyone who used to be on Opie and Anthony and what they're doing now, they're all doing better than Opie. And this sums up why.
My whole life, I swam against the current. That's where I like to live. When everybody is doing this, everyone's doing this, I'm like trying to swim against the current. I don't know if that's a good way to live your life or a bad way, but that's how I've always lived my life. When I see everyone doing one thing, I'm like, okay, I can't do that thing anymore. That's why, I got people. They're like, we get in a goddamn, real studio and do a real show. I'm like, no, that's what everybody else is doing. I don't want to do that. Everyone's doing that. That bores me to tears.
Oh, Opie's bored. Okay. Otherwise, to pull these clips, but you're bored. I see how it's going. So Opie says, no, I go against the grain. I swim upstream. I'm different than everyone else. Now, that does work for certain pioneers of industry. Mm-hmm. I mean, certainly Steve Jobs didn't do what everyone else would have done running Apple. He said, no, I'm going to focus on the smartphone thing. And it turned out to be a very intelligent move. No one else was really doing that.
I won't get proper treatment for cancer, but I'll focus on this.
So it doesn't always work out real well. Sometimes if the vast majority of people are doing a thing, it's like, oh, that must be the thing that you should do that, like in a studio and run a proper show and try to put some effort into your podcast and prep for it.
But doesn't Opie understand that criticizing people for being sheep, for following what everyone does and saying they don't have their own minds, when you say, I just do the opposite of what everyone does, that's the same thing. You have no opinion and your decisions are made by others.
Yeah, that's a good point. His chat runs his show, and what everyone else does runs his life. because he has to do the opposite of it.
At what point do you exist, Opie, and have an opinion or a feeling or a thought that you can own? Does it ever happen?
And I think there's more people doing shows like Opie does than people doing shows in a studio.
Yeah, that's a good point. George Costanza did this, but it's a joke. It's a goof. What if I just do the opposite of everything? In a sitcom, that could work out for you.
Yeah.
In real life, not so much.
Who are the